All right. Hello. Um, how are you doing? I turned 55 yesterday and went to a friend's house for dinner. We had salmon and mussels and uh, craft beer and wine and got a lovely gift. And it was fun, a lot of fun. And I was thinking about life as I do and, about like that. I did a video a long time ago I think it was called Advice for Young People. And it was about rely upon yourself. And I was thinking about that because that could be mean something different for so many people, oddly enough, because like you have to know yourself, you have to understand who you are and how you function best. And for instance, like in a group of people that do say, think, feel a certain way because it's best for the group. Um, if I feel that there's something off, I have to say something. And if the decision of the entire group is to go a certain way, or if my decision is like my way needs to be this way, then it's my nature to do that. Um, and so understanding that means that like for me that like doing something as a group or a team even um, isn't going to function really well. I think that I had to learn that lesson the hard way. And I thought that like I thought that to succeed or to succeed well, like that you need a group of people. You need like a unit, um, be it like religion or family or whatever. And yes, for certain people that's the case. And for certain people that actually is going to set them up for a kind of failure, except that not a real failure, it's like a kind of lesson to learn. And so I always tried to like set myself up at 20 to be at 25 to be in a good position in life, and at 25 at 30. But then I didn't learn the lesson that some of the best things that I've done in life for certain have been done alone. And the reason why I've done those things alone is because not everyone can, will, or want to do certain things in certain ways. And and I wouldn't want to give up some of the things that I've experienced in life because it didn't fit in with, other people, even one other person. I need to live my life in such a way as at any moment I could say, well, this might not be good for you or for all of you, but I need to go do this and have it not negatively affect anybody. And if all goes well, it'll be a positive effect upon me, even if what I learn from it is there's different ways to do it or better ways to do it. Next time I'll do it this way. So, so I had a bit of a stumble earlier in life or in midlife, and now I believe that thanks to the efforts of 45 to 50-year-old me, at 55, I'm in a house that I love, and I'm in a situation that gives me lots of options, which is so nice. Good Lord, there's been so many times in my life where my options were so limited that really like you have the two circles of like all the good choices, then down here the worst of the good choices, and then all your bad choices, and up here it's like the best of your worst choices. That I felt like sometimes the best of my worst choices were better than the worst of my best choices. Living in the tiny house as opposed to renting an apartment. Um, and when you get down to that point, like yeah, like you have to pay. You have to pay for it. If you choose from your worst choices, there's a price. And so at 55, like looking towards 60, like this is so important to think about. Because like as you start thinking about like not necessarily even if I'm capable of retirement, but like am I capable of working at 60 or 65 or 70? Like, so you got to think about that now. You can't wait to see, like, we'll see how I'm feeling at 65. Um, and then also you got to think of like, and it has to be done your own way. Like, you can't look around and say like, well, how are other people doing it? Like, well, other people like you? No, then don't look at what they're doing. Like, get information from what they're doing, but don't try to base it off that. You obviously need to think of a way that's uh, particular to your own skill set. Anyway, so I feel good at 55, despite tweaking my back, but that's just part of getting older. Um, I like anything. It's like it's full of like really good times and really bad times, and I can look around to like the things that have been in my 50s that are unique, special occurrences and special accomplishments, and still learning lots about myself. God, you change so much. I mean, I change so much. I'm sure we all do. You kind of think that like maybe we see other people and think like they've always been the same. So maybe it surprises me to see such difference in me as time goes on. It's hard to say. I don't feel that I've had like an erosion of my values or anything like that. Might have like a broadening of acceptance. I see so many of my failures now in life more as important life lessons. I think it was a failure at that moment, um, but that's a failure of like having your hand slip off the handlebars. Or I remember I was on a bike ride once, and I put new grips on, and I didn't know how to make them stick onto the handlebars. It's milk, by the way. You you cover the handlebars on the inside of your grips with milk, and then you let that dry, and so it becomes like a glue that you could dissolve. And my grip slid right off because I didn't know how to attach it, and I crashed. And that crash was a failure. Um, I didn't ask, I didn't look in books, and I learned from that crash from the people with me how to do it better. And so yeah, I do look back and wish, like, oh man, I wish I would have been, wise enough, or but like because I wasn't, that's how I learned. And then get a little bit of wisdom with your scraped elbow. So I wouldn't say I'm an amazing 55-year-old at all. um, but I will say like if I immediately look to like, well, what's not going good in my 50s, um, and if it was written down, and I said, okay, well then what did you learn for it? And that was written down. Like then the things that were not how I would have wished are still reality. And it would have been a couple books. And what I learned from it would have been a volume of books. So you can't discount the value of that. Like you can't discount the value of like having that one like accident on my bicycle made me think so much more about when I replace something or do something like, is there a better way to do it? Or should I talk to somebody that knows about it, has done it, other people, and say, hey, I've done this. Like, is there anything I need to think about or be concerned with? And then become enriched by their own knowledge. Like you don't have to learn everything the hard way. So, and then some things in life obviously are just going to happen for the first time. The first time you lose a family member to death, you know, the first time you lose a pet to death, the first time you realize that there's a wide variety of love in the world, and that it's the cliche like, it's better to have loved and lost. It's so true. It's absolutely so true. Like it hurts so much that you forget at loss, that you forget the amazing heights of emotion that you felt, during the time. Anyway, anyway, it's good to see you. I haven't made a video in forever. And to you, 60-year old Earl, I hope I make really good choices for you. Um, I hope that if you're not in this house, I've put you someplace that is better for some reason. Um, I'm thinking like not necessarily a cabin in the woods. But I'm like thinking like a metal shop with a big double door garage that you've pulled an RV in, and you got all your like all these woodworking tools and your gardening, something fun, either or this, either in this house, you're gardening in the backyard or whatever. And I hope that you had friends to go spend your birthday with. It's interesting how that happens. Just planning on just spending my birthday alone, and then from outside my bubble, I get a message saying you are going to come eat with us, and we will give you a present and give you presents and pie.